Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about The Housemaid, your favorite movie from December of last year, which has already grossed, what's already made, $365 million. It's already on streaming now, okay? So you can watch it on streaming, okay? If you like that kind of stuff, all right? I paid to go see that piece of crap movie, all right? And I went with a date. Okay, and we both sat there and watched this thing, and we both did not like it. Okay, I went with a woman, all right, and we both did not like it. Okay, and I can't believe I spent my money on it. You know, I'm not a big Sydney Sweeney fan. I get it. She's pretty. She's sexy. Okay, she's more than pretty. She's sexy. I get that. I understand why they're promoting the hell out of her right now. She's in all the TV ads. She's on all these on social media all the time. Her commercials, her interviews, the talk shows, you know, the posters. She's everywhere right now, and I get it. This is her 15 minutes of fame. I get all that. I get why they're trying to make her the next thing. Okay, all that makes sense. Okay, but here's the thing about Sydney Sweeney. Okay, she's not really a great actress. Okay, nobody can read the lines off of this script. Okay, well maybe I take that back. Okay, an exceptional actor can read the lines off of this piece of crap script and make it good. A talented actor can do that. All right, Sydney Sweeney is not a talented actress. She's not an actress. Okay, she's a pinup girl. Okay, now maybe later on, the more she acts, the better she'll get. I know that's been known to happen. Okay, but what Sydney Sweeney is eye candy. Okay, she's eye candy for the next generation, and she serves a purpose. She serves a very important purpose for the next not this generation of women. They're already screwed up. The next generation. I'm talking about the girls that are 13, 14 years old right now. They're looking at Sydney Sweeney, and they're going like, I want to be like her. I want to be sexy like her. I want men to look at me. Okay, the way the men in this movie look at her. You see what I mean? Okay, that is what she's doing. She's programming the next generation. She's embracing femininity. Yes, it's okay to act like a woman. It's okay to be desired by men. It's okay to look good. It's okay to raise a dick. You see what I mean? That's what she's promoting. I'm all for that because we have not gotten that in a long time. I am sick and tired of all these mid to just ugly women getting shots. Okay, now I'm not saying you have to be good looking to be a famous actor. I mean, there's plenty of ugly women out there that do great. You know, they used to be hot when they were young, but you know, obviously they're old now. You know, like a Helen Mirren or a Judi Dench, you know, or something like that, you know, or Meryl Streep. Yeah, they were better looking when they were younger. Meryl Streep, maybe not so much, but you get what I'm saying, okay? I mean, you look at Liz Taylor from the 1940s, and then you look at Liz Taylor from the 80s. Okay, big difference. Big difference. The problem with her, she still thought she looked like she did in the 1940s, in the 1980s, and she didn't. Okay, so yes, I get it. People age out, all right. But the past two generations we've gotten, okay, the wokeness that Hollywood has just been pushing on us, on women, is to be ugly. Be ugly. You know, get tattoos, get face tattoos, get your nose pierced like a damn bull ring. Get the bull ring, get the lip piercing, get the eye piercing, get the tongue piercing. You know, get all that. You know, get the Skrillex, you know, have green and orange hair and crap like that. Get fat. Get covered in tattoos. Tattoos here. Tattoos on your cleavage. Okay, get it everywhere. Because that's you. You know, and women bought into this because that was their role models. That's what they saw. That's what they've been getting pushed. Ugly is the new pretty. Okay, you've been getting the Dakota Johnsons, the Emily Blunts. Okay, the Zendayas. The Florence Pughs, and I mean Pugh, okay? You've been getting these mid-actresses, and that's what's been getting pushed on you, okay? The Rachel Zeglers, okay? These women are not what I would consider beautiful, okay? I mean, what I consider beautiful is like look at like a '90s Heather Graham. That woman was beautiful. Okay, we've had beautiful women before. Okay, we've had sexy women before. A young Cameron Diaz, a young Drew Barrymore. I had the hots for her when she was, not now, but when she was younger. Oh yeah. But the point is that these women were pushed because they were sexy. Even a young Nicole Kidman. I know Nicole Kidman looks like crap now, but look at her in the '90s. She looked damn good. I mean, look how she was stunning. Look at Malice. Look at My Life. That's where she played Michael Keaton's wife in that one. Okay. Look at she did a whole bunch of movies. I can't think of it right because I reviewed her when I did The Baby Girl. Okay, but Eyes Wide, whatever the hell she was in, Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, she was in that with Tom Cruise, but back when she was married to him. But look at the stuff she did when she was younger. I mean, she's gorgeous. Not now, but back then. That's the kind of women we were getting pushed on. Okay, women like that. Look at Winona Ryder. Look at Winona Ryder. Not so much today, although she's still attractive for her age. But look at Winona Ryder from like 1992. Look at Winona Ryder from Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Look at Winona Ryder in that movie. Okay, she was sexy as hell in that movie. Okay, there's a scene where she's in her nightgown and it's storming outside in the middle of the night. And she opens, the wind is blowing on her, and there's lightning and rain and stuff. And all she's wearing is a nightie. She's not even wearing underwear underneath it. And just like the wind, you can see those. I mean, she just looked great. She looked sexy as hell in Dracula. The Gary Oldman, okay, the Francis Ford Coppola. She looked really good in that movie, okay? So that's what we were used to. We got women like that, okay? When I grew up, when I was a little kid in the 80s, we had like those, we had those like adult comedies, rated like Porky's, Porky's, I mean, and then you had all those low budget ones that went straight to Cinemax, or we call it Skinemax, like Hard Bodies and stuff, all sorts of, these low budget movies, okay, with the sexy women. That's what we got. I mean, I remember when we were kids, dude, and when a girl took off her top and she was topless in one of those R-rated, like college comedies, we were like, because that was sexy. We were being exposed to sexy stuff. Okay, those women were sexy. Maybe they couldn't act, but they were sexy. They had our attention. You see, that's what I'm talking about. They had my attention. They had our attention. We liked looking at that. We liked sexy women. And even if you go back to like the 70s and stuff, I mean, there was a woman named Angie Dickinson, okay? And she was in those Ocean's 11 movies, not with George Clooney, the ones with Frank Sinatra, like back in the day, back in the 60s, man. And that woman was hot as hell. Angie Dickinson, she's still alive. I think she's like 100 years old. But yeah, I mean, back then she was on a TV show in the 70s called Policewoman. And that woman was like in her 30s or 40s, but she looked damn good in a bikini. Okay, and she was an undercover cop, like she would like pretend to be a prostitute, or she pretended to be as a stripper by stripping, and maybe she looked good. See, the point I'm trying to make here is that sexy was okay growing up. It didn't stop being okay until probably when Obama became president. Okay, maybe a little bit after that, around 2010, 2011, 2012, sexy quit being okay. Okay, the male gaze all of a sudden became a problem with Hollywood. Okay, and all of a sudden, men, we weren't allowed to lust after women anymore. Okay, and one of the big ways that they enforced that is by not putting sexy women in movies. That's where you got all these like mid actresses, like the ones that I mentioned. I can't remember all of them, but like there's one I'm thinking about right now. I don't remember her name, but you might remember her. She was like in the Mummy movie, the one with Tom Cruise, like piece of crap from 2017. And she played the mummy in that one. Okay, I don't remember her name, but I remember around 2017, 2018, she was in everything. She was like in the Kingsman movies. She was in the Mummy. I mean, she was in Atomic Blonde. I mean, she was in all these movies that she got her 15 minutes of fame. Okay, and she didn't catch on. Nobody caught on with her. Nobody fell in love with her. And now I don't know what the hell she's doing. She's probably some streaming shows, a minor character, okay? But Hollywood gave her a shot as a leading woman, and she didn't pull it off. And one of the reasons she didn't pull it off is because she wasn't that attractive. Okay, I'm sorry, but just because you're the only woman in the movie doesn't automatically make you hot, man. And now I feel bad. I feel bad that I don't remember her name, so I'm gonna look her up real quick here. The Mummy from the 2017. Yeah, what was her name? Oh, Sophia Boutella. That's her name. Sophia Boutella. Okay, that woman had a shot at the brass ring, and I'm sorry, she didn't pick up. There was nothing about her that was exceptional. There's nothing sexy about her. You see what I mean? Nothing against her. I mean, I'm not saying she's ugly, okay, but I'm saying like she's mid, she's average looking, okay? I've dated women better looking than her, and I'm nothing special. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. When we look at Hollywood people, we want to see people that are larger than life. We don't want to see the girl that fucking, that bags our groceries at Walmart. You see what I mean? We want to see something better than that. Okay? And that's what Sydney Sweeney represents. She represents sexy, which is something men have been starving for. You want to know why men aren't going to the movies? Okay? Well, there's lots of reasons, but one of them is there's nothing for us to watch. I don't want to watch some fucking superhero movie. When I go in there, like a Captain America movie, only to find out that the women in the movie are stronger and smarter than he is, and he's just a bitch. I don't want to spend my money on that. If they were to make a Die Hard movie today, if Bruce Willis was healthy enough to do Die Hard, I know he's got Alzheimer's, but if he was healthy enough to do Die Hard today in 2026, you know what it'll be? I'd go to that theater, okay, you know what would happen? Okay, it'd be his daughter would be saving him from everything. Okay? And he'd just be making stupid ass comments. And his daughter would be beating the crap out of all the terrorists and blowing up all the terrorists. She'd be doing it all. Okay? And then telling him what a piece of crap dad he is. Okay? And he'd probably get kicked in the nuts about 16 times. You see what I mean? That's what would happen. Okay? And she'd have a black boyfriend, and it turns out that she's bisexual. She also got a lesbian girlfriend. Okay, and that's going to be the overall subplot for John. He's going to have to reconcile the fact that his boss bitch daughter goes both ways. Okay, you see what I mean? That's what would happen. That's what would happen. And then it turned out that he doesn't judge her because it turns out he had a gay lover in the 70s himself. Okay, and he just now, after this hostage situation, finally got the courage enough to admit it, that he liked to take it up the ass. You see what I mean? That's what would happen today. If they made a Die Hard 6 or something like that. I think how many have they made? 4 Die Hards? 5 Die Hards? Yeah, they made a Die Hard 6. That's what happened today. That'd be 2026 Die Hard, okay? And it's just like, we're sick of this crap. There's nothing for us to watch, okay? Give us something to look at, okay? And even though Sydney Sweeney is sexy as hell, and she knows it, okay? This movie fails because there's nothing for us to... I'm a man, okay? I paid to go see this movie. There's nothing for me to watch. Yes, she's sexy because I don't get to see her tits. We don't get to see her tits in the movie. I know, I looked. Okay? We get to see them underneath her clothes, but we don't get to see them. But yet we get a fucking huge 3D, fucking 4D shots of Andrew's ass, okay? Brandon Skelner's ass. We get to see a lot of that in this movie. Okay? But we get no tits. Now what the fuck? I know this is a chick flick, okay? But goddamn, if you want to get guys in there, okay? Because goddamn well, women are going to get their boyfriends or husbands to take them to go see this shit. Okay? Then you got to have something for us to watch, too. It can't all just be misandry. It can't all just be men are all assholes, and we're strong, tough, independent women, and we're not going to tolerate men abusing us anymore. Agency! And all single mom's rule, and all the... Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Okay? And that's what this is. That's exactly what this is, okay? It's a false advertising. You put Sydney Sweeney in a movie, okay? Then I want to see sexy. I want to see sexy. I don't want to see this shit. You see what I mean? Give something for the fucking men, for God's sake, Hollywood. Make something for us. You haven't made shit for us since like 2011. Like, come on. Get your head out of your ass. You forgot the guys that are out there. A big percentage of Hollywood's of their revenue came from men. It came from men taking women to go see those goddamn bullshit rom-coms, those Meg Ryan and Julia Roberts rom-coms. Okay? It came from men paying to go see it. I've paid for many rom-coms in my dating life. Okay? Or family movies. Your kids want to see some CGI cartoon. You take the whole family, the wife, the kids, we all go. And who pays for that? The dad does. The dad does. You see, I'm not going to take my fucking kid to go see a movie where they have fucking 2 cartoon lesbians make it out? Like Buzz Lightyear? Are you fucking out of your mind? Why the fuck am I going to spend my money on that? I'm not. I'm not going to watch some fucking Disney fucking CGI cartoon. Okay, where the subplot is some fucking gay teenager in love with his fucking camp counselor or shit. What the fuck is this shit? I don't want to watch a movie about this fucking shit. It's for fucking kids. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's Hollywood lost the plot. They've lost the customer base. They've turned off the men, and there's nothing really for the women to watch either. Okay, there really isn't. Okay, yeah, some TNA for the women. Get the fuck out of here. This script is so fucking implausible and so fucking unrealistic that any woman with 2 fucking brain cells would look at this piece of shit and would go like, oh, there's no fucking way this would ever happen. You know why? Because I'm not stupid enough to imagine myself being this main character, Millie Calloway. I'm too smart to be that stupid to work at a house with all these fucking red flags. Okay, and nobody would. You don't have to be a woman to figure that out. Nobody would do that. Nobody would work in a house, okay, where you want to fuck the owner, okay? The wife, your employer is treating you like absolute shit. The daughter you're supposed to be babysitting treats you like absolute shit. They steal from you. They put you in a room you can't get out of. They disrespect you. They lie about you. They get you arrested for shit you didn't do. Nobody would put up with this. Nobody. It's not a safe environment. You see, and any parole officer would understand this. They're not going, oh, or then you're going to jail. No. Get another fucking job. Here, I'm going to give you 2 weeks to find another job. Okay? Because you have to have one, else you're going to go back to jail. That's what would happen. I don't feel safe there. You see what I mean? That's exactly what would happen. She ain't going to go to jail because she loses her job. She just got to find a job. Okay, find another job. Big fucking deal. Okay, so maybe you got to go wash some cars. Maybe you got to fry some burgers or whatever the fuck you got to do, okay? But it's better than this. It's better than being the target of abuse and being threatened to lose your job every half an hour by a psycho woman. You see what I mean? There's way too many red flags here. But fuck this shit. It's not realistic, okay? The movie sucks. All right. Now, where we left off last time, okay, Millie here, the housemaid, the sexy housemaid, yes, she did it, okay? She fucked the owner. She fucked the dad. Okay, even though he doesn't really have a daughter. He adopted his daughter. He married a single mom, so it's not really his daughter. Okay, anyway, the husband, Andrew, the owner of the mansion where Millie works at as a housemaid, yeah, she fucked him. They spent the weekend at a Broadway show that she was manipulated into buying the tickets for and booking a hotel room, and they stayed in the hotel, and instead of sleeping in separate rooms like they were supposed to, they ended up fucking. Okay, well, of course, we knew that was going to happen. He got her drunk, and she liked him, and she's been creaming. I mean, she's been creaming her jeans for him since this movie began, all right? She's been wanting to jump his bone since the first time she saw him, okay? So it didn't take much convincing for her to do it, okay? And the fact that she hates his wife, okay? That kind of thing. He's rich, he's handsome, 6'2", hung to his shoe. He's got a surgically attached wife beater on at all times. He's got abs. He's always showing off his ass. He's proud of his teeth. All that kind of shit, dude. And of course, she's just fucking creaming all over it. All right. So yes, okay. So for some concocted reason, the wife, Nina Winchester, played by Amanda Seyfried, psycho bitch herself, she and her daughter took the weekend off. They went somewhere, I don't know. And during that weekend, you just had the husband Andrew at home with his hot ass, sexy young housemate. So of course he fucked her. He took her out to Broadway show in Manhattan. They got a hotel room. Oh, I drank too much. I can't drive us home. And of course they fucked. All right. So now it's the next day. Okay, and he's telling her, you need to shut up about this. My wife could never know about what we did. Blah blah blah. All that. Okay. So on the way back to the house, they're driving back. They got to get there before his wife shows up because she texted him, says she's going to be home early. So him and Millie got to get home before the wife shows up. So they drive back to their like posh, mansion, whatever that he owns. Okay, I mean it's got like W on the gate. There's a gate to get into his property. Okay, with a big W, Winchester. Right. So they're driving all the way back to the house. Okay, in silence. They don't talk. And luckily they got home before Nina did. Okay, because Nina was on her way home. Okay, and of course they kiss once they walk in there. He calls for his wife. She ain't there. Her car ain't there. Okay, so Andrew carries carries Millie up the stairs as if they just got married and shit, right? Okay, you see what's happening here. Okay, this is and of course Millie's too stupid to realize what's going on. Nina does arrive later on, and when she walks in, Millie's there cooking lunch, and Andrew is upstairs, flogging his log. That's not what he says he was doing. He says that he was like fixing something, right? Okay. He was downstairs. He walks from upstairs to downstairs. He tells Nina he was fixing a drain upstairs in the bathroom. So Nina gets home. She apologizes for the nasty text that she sent Millie, because while Millie was fucking her husband in the hotel room, Nina, who was out of town, was texting Millie on her phone that she provided Millie with. Okay, threatening to kill her. I mean, not kill her, threatening to fire her if she doesn't pick up her phone now. She doesn't respond immediately. Blah blah blah. Okay, so she blew up Millie's phone. Okay, she apologizes for that. Okay, that she left. Okay, and she says, I absolutely hate sleeping in hotels. And I think she put a rub on there because obviously Andrew and Millie slept in a hotel when they weren't fucking the night before, but Nina don't know that, or does she? Or does she know that her husband was sticking his dick in another vagina? Okay, anyway, so Andrew and Millie act like everything, is great. Nothing happened. I didn't just spend all night fucking him last night. That kind of thing. You know how it is when people you trust are cheating on you. Okay, during lunch, Nina asked Millie how her night off was. Okay, Millie bullshits and talks about she was hanging out with one of her girlfriends. With bullshit, she has no girlfriends. She just got out of prison recently. Okay, so her girlfriends are still locked up. Okay, but she does make up a name, Lexi. She hung out with Lexi, whatever the fuck. Okay, and Nina says like, that's great, and of course Millie made lunch. Okay, so there's Andrew and Nina sitting there eating the lunch that Millie just cooked for them. And Nina asks her, like, what'd you do? The weekend? Oh, I hung out with my friend, Lexi, blah, blah, and Nina is like, oh, that's great. By the way, the food you just cooked us is absolutely delicious. Did you learn to cook in prison? Now, for context here, okay, when Millie applied for this job, she faked her resume. She put down that she'd been to Ivy League schools and all that kind of crap. No, which was all fake. Now, Nina clearly did not research the resume to see if it was true. Or maybe she did, and she hired this woman, okay, to take care of her house and babysit her daughter, and have access to her credit cards and all of her possessions in the house, including her husband. You see what I mean? Okay, this woman's younger and better looking than she is, and she still allowed all this to happen, okay? Anyway, so Nina blurts that out in front of Andrew. Now, Andrew, her husband, the guy that Millie just fucked last night, did not know that Millie is an ex-con, okay? She never revealed it. Like I said, she lied on her resume, okay? But it is true. She's an ex-con. Now, at this point in the movie, we do not know why she was in prison, but she was in prison for 10 years. Okay, because we know when she talked to her parole officer that she hasn't had sex in 10 years. Well, that's a lie. She had plenty of sex in prison. She just hadn't had sex with a man in 10 years. That's the important thing. Okay, you think a woman like that ain't gonna get her, ain't gonna have carpet in her lunchbox? Of course she does. Okay, she's in a female prison for 10 years. Okay, so all that's going on here. Okay, and then of course Millie is speechless, like she just revealed that in front of Andrew, okay, and then Nina says, yes, Andrew, she was in prison for 10 years before she came to work for us, and you know what? I hired her anyway, and I still don't know what she was in prison for. Now, obviously she didn't say that, okay, I said that. Because this script makes no fucking sense. Ladies, if you hired a housemaid, okay, and you were like hot like 20 years ago when you were in that movie, Mamma Mia, but now it's been a long time since then, would you hire this woman who's a lot younger and better looking than you and bigger tits than you, okay, to babysit your daughter, okay, to clean your house, to have access to all your possessions, including your credit cards, and around your horny husband? Your Adonis-looking husband. Would you hire her? Of course you wouldn't, okay? You'd do what Maria Shriver did. You'd hire an ugly, fat Mexican woman, okay? But that didn't stop Arnold from impregnating her too, right? But the point is, okay, no normal woman would do this, okay? You would not do this. You see what I mean? But Nina did this, okay? Nina did this. Okay, now, as far as relationships go, okay, I don't care how faithful you are, okay? You could be with the same person for 25, 35 years, okay? Even the people that are faithful for that long, okay? That doesn't abolish temptation. Everyone, whether you're faithful or whether you're a cheating whore, okay, you will be tempted. Everyone gets tempted to screw around. Everybody. Okay? Everybody gets tempted to screw around. Okay? Everybody. So if you are in a monogamous relationship, if you're married, living together, all that kind of stuff, okay? Why would you increase the temptation? You see what I mean? Why would you do that? It makes no sense. No normal person would do that. No woman who's in love with her husband, okay, would purposely hire a younger, more attractive woman to hang out with him all the time, okay? That would never happen. You see what I mean? Just like, no man that loves his wife would hire some Adonis-looking guy with a big dick, okay, to hang out with his wife all the time when he's not around, okay? That would never happen. You see, you know why? Is it because she's going to cheat on him? Is it because he's going to cheat on her? No. If he's loyal to his spouse or her spouse, he or she ain't going to do that. They're not going to cheat. But the point is, why add more temptation? It's like if you're an alcoholic, right? Why would you work in a bar where you're surrounded by alcohol? How is that going to help you? It won't. It's going to increase the temptation. It doesn't mean you're going to drink it, but it is going to increase the temptation. If you're a young, horny girl who's been in prison for 10 years, had that dick in 10 years, and you work for a guy who's super sexy and suave and rich and fun to be around and flirty with you and gets your pussy wet, okay? Knowing that you'll go back to prison if you lose this job, you wouldn't work there because the temptation is too freaking great. But people that wrote this fucking script don't seem to understand that. Therefore, it loses all plausibility. Therefore, I can't believe in it. You see what I mean? There's no way you can convince me that she has to work there. She doesn't have to work there. She can quit anytime she wants. All she got to do is get another job. Anyway. So that's going on here. So yeah, the cat's out of the bag. Turns out that Millie is an ex-con, and now we don't know how long Nina's known this, but now Andrew knows. Okay, and that's really what Millie was afraid of. She was afraid of losing her job. Okay, if they found out, that's why she lied on her resume, on her interview. Okay, and she tells Nina, of course, being a sarcastic bitch, she tells her, "I think it's brave making a new start in a new town. I'm glad we could be a part of your journey." Like that, like the fucking bitch that she is, okay? Nina says, "Right now, I need you to restock Cece's favorite stuff because you've been failing at that lately. And I want you to start using my car from now on to run errands, okay? Because your car is an embarrassment of the neighborhood." Okay, now I forgot what kind of car Nina drives. I'll look it up. Okay, I forgot, but it's better than the piece of shit car that, that Millie drives, okay? I think Millie drives a Toyota Camry, that smells like feet, according to Nina's daughter, Cece, okay? It's a shithole car. Why is that? Why is this some of the best looking women have the shittiest fucking cars? You ever notice that? Okay, I've been in plenty of cars, okay, that belong to beautiful women, and the cars look like shit. Okay, they've got wrappers on the floor. They got makeup products everywhere on the seat. Okay, everywhere. It's a shithole. Like, what the fuck? There's no place for me to sit here. There's no place for me to put my feet. Like, what the fuck? It's true. It's true. And you ladies, okay, you know damn well it's true. Okay? Now my car is basically like a rental, okay? I get it cleaned once a week, sometimes twice a week, full inside and out. Okay? Because I'm not gonna drive around in a fucking piece of shit car. Okay? A car that smells like shit or looks like shit, okay? Because I take pride in my possessions. You see what I mean? Okay? So, and of course, Millie, that is realistic, that her car is shitty, in the inside and the outside. Okay, so Millie's embarrassed and shocked, okay, but she agrees. You know, she takes the car keys from Nina, she agrees, and then she leaves, all right? You know, and for some stupid-ass reason, I remember when I was sitting in the theater watching this scene, I'm thinking to myself, okay, after this exchange that we just saw, Millie still wants to work there. Okay? Now let's go over the list real quick of all the red flags. Number one, okay, she lied to her employer. That right there is going to get her fired, okay? Even if she did a great job for the next 5 years, okay? At any moment, Nina or Andrew can just fire her because she lied on her resume. You see what I mean? So that right there is a kill switch right there. Now they've got a reason to fire her. She lied on her resume. She falsified her application. That right there, okay? And she's an ex-con. Why the fuck would anyone hire an ex-con to be in charge of their house when they're not there? To babysit their daughter when they're not there? You see what I mean? Her room, she has an attic room, okay, that only has one door. It's a heavy oak door that locks from the outside. That means anybody could lock her in there and there's nothing she can do about it. She wouldn't be able to get out. There's one window up there and she can't fit through it and it doesn't open anyway. Okay, there's no bathroom up there. And the room is soundproof. So if she screamed for help, nobody would hear. So how's that right there? Her bathroom, she's got to walk 2 flights of stairs down and across the hall to get to her bathroom that she uses. Okay? She's sexually attracted to the owner of the house, Andrew, the husband, the father. Okay? She's sexually attracted to him. So right there, she's tempted. Okay? The woman of the house, the wife, the mother, treats her like absolute shit, as we just saw. Lies about her, threatens to fucking get her fired all the time. Disrespects her. At one moment, she's nice to her. The next moment, she's threatening to fire her. Or she did fire her, and Millie's got to convince her to let her stay and keep working. You know? Sets her up to buy things and tells her you're going to have to pay for it, you know, even though it wasn't her fault. You know, she does that like every day. There is no job security here. Okay? She's only there on the whims of Nina's fucking bipolarism. Okay? The daughter, Cece, the 7-year-old daughter, treats Millie like absolute shit. This glass is not clean enough for me to drink out of it. You need to bring me back a cleaner glass. Because orange juice is a privilege. You know, shit like that. Steals from her. Stole her fucking troll out of her room. She's a little fucking thief. You see what I mean? This is ridiculous. Okay? And what does Millie know about Nina besides the fact that Nina's a bitch? Oh yeah, Nina fucking murdered her parents when she was a little girl, set the house on fire. She was the only survivor. Okay? And she's also been locked up in the nut house because she tried to fucking kill her daughter. These are things that Millie knows about Nina already. And now this. Now the revelation that Millie's next con. Which means that Nina knows why Millie went to prison. Okay? And it wasn't for jaywalking. Okay? And yet, after all this shit that I just named, that I just mentioned, Millie still wants to work there. She still wants to work there. Oh yeah, don't forget the weirdo groundsman outside who doesn't talk much. He's just like... He's like that every time you see him. He's just like... Like that. Like, who the fuck wants to work when there's a guy like that around? Jesus Christ. You see what I'm talking about? No normal human being would ever put up with this. No man or woman. This movie is giving you this as a shit sandwich and they want you to eat it and ask for seconds. Not gonna fucking happen. This script is bullshit. I didn't read the book. I ain't gonna read the book. It's just a load of fucking shit. I'd rather watch porn. Porn's more realistic than this. Anyway, that's going on here. Okay, so we're now at the grocery store, and Millie realizes that Nina knew about her past. Okay, Nina realizes that Nina knew all about her prison record. Okay, the whole time. So she knew that Millie had lied to her this entire time she's been working there. Okay, and has been treating her like shit because she knew Millie couldn't quit the job. Like I said, bullshit on that. Millie could quit this job at any time. All she has to do is tell her parole officer, "Hey, listen, you know, they're not being nice to me here. I don't feel safe. Okay, I'm gonna get another job. Okay, I can't work there anymore." Okay. Okay. Now at the checkout lane of the grocery store, one of those stuck-up housewives, those bitches, okay, that she met earlier during the tea party they had when they came over to Nina's house. Okay, one of them, her name is Jillian. Okay, she's the ugly blonde that wants to fuck Andrew. She was talking about how hot Andrew was. Okay, remember her? Okay, yeah. She'd rather fuck him than her own husband. Anyway, Jillian's there, and of course she recognizes Millie as the housemaid from the Winchester's house. Okay, and she notices Millie on the phone. Okay, on her smartphone. Okay, and she compliments Millie on using the phone, and tells her that you are so trusty to be using a phone, okay, that your employer gave you. And Millie's like, what? How is that trusting? This is, you know, I use this phone to buy, whenever they send me to buy something, I've had their credit card information on here. That's how I pay for everything they send me to go buy for them. You know, that's what she's thinking. And Millie's like, what do you mean? What do you mean trusting? It's just a phone. And then Jillian says, like, most nannies won't use the work phone because every text, email, and location can be tracked. So good for you. Now Millie's like, So that's how Nina knew. Okay, now I said this already in other videos, okay? And I said it when it happened, okay? Earlier in the movie, you know, Millie had her own piece of shit phone with her contacts, her social media, her own internet, all that kind of stuff, right? But then when she got the job working for the Winchesters, Nina automatically took that phone away and gave her a new phone, which was upgraded. I mean, it was a better phone, okay? But for some reason, Millie did not insist that she keep her old phone. Now, Nina said, like, here's a new phone because your phone is just ancient, okay? Here's a new phone. It's got all our credit card information on there, blah, blah, blah. You can use it, whatever, you know, which is fine. Okay, fine. It's got your credit card. Now I can use this. This is my work phone. But this is my personal phone. For some reason, Millie gave up her personal phone and automatically grabbed the work phone. Now, why would someone who at the time is scared to death that their employer is going to find out that they're an ex-con, okay, on parole, would ever do that? You see what I mean? It makes no fucking sense. Nobody would ever do that. The phone that she got from Nina can be tracked, okay? Nina can monitor everything that Millie does, all the text messages she sent, all the conversations she had with her and Andrew. She can track the location, okay? She knew that Andrew and Millie were at that hotel Saturday night. They spent the night there. She knew that. You see what I mean? Anybody would know. The cops know that shit. When cops are looking for a suspect, what's the first thing you do is they check the cell phone. Where's the cell phone located at? You see what I mean? Anybody can do that. There's an app for it. But Millie didn't think of that. First thing I thought of, she immediately surrendered her phone. What the fuck? Anyway. So now Millie knows that Nina knows everything, okay? Okay, it's ridiculous. All right, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back soon to continue my review of this piece of crap movie. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.